Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the Eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This video is part of the Why March is going to be a life-changing month series of videos, so please make sure to check part 1. I've already posted that. I know I said in that video that I'm going to make a part 2, but I don't know, it turns out that I'm going to make a lot of parts because I want to analyze it as much as I can for you. And I feel like I couldn't say everything in one video. I'm gonna make multiple ones, but this particular one is focused on the eclipse. Before you start, please keep in mind that I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac. You can listen to your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. You can also leave comments below. Let me know how your life is going and also what questions you have. You know, I always read your comments and I do my best to respond to all of them. I also want to say that I'm going to be posting, like I said, like I kind of mentioned, other videos as well. March is an important month because we're also going to have Venus and Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which I will cover in another video. And we're also going to have another eclipse in the sign of Aries. We're going to have Neptune moving in the sign of Aries. So many exciting things are happening this month. And although we might not feel the energy like exactly now, this is when things are marked in the sky. Like March is the month that is going to bring a lot of changes in everybody's lives. I know that I took a little bit to post this video, but hang in there with me. Know that these things also affect me as well. I have a stellium in the sign of Pisces, and I'm also going through my first Saturn return. My life is shifted completely 180 degrees, so I'm dealing with 1,000 things in the background. But this is my passion, and I always look forward to just doing my videos. I love doing this for you. I really, really do. So please bear with me. When it, during this month and April as well. I kind of expected a lot of things to be happening and they are going the same way that I expected. They're not good things, even though I'm smiling. But I think I need this kind of detox in my life right now. So anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you now. Amazing things are happening. The eclipse is going to be happening on March 14, the first eclipse of this month in the sign of Virgo at 23 degrees. And it's going to be in opposition to Saturn. But this eclipse is also receiving a positive aspect from Uranus, which I think is going to help us have those innovative ideas, that forward thinking, that attention to detail, that intelligence that we need to make certain decisions when it comes to whatever could be happening in our lives in the Virgo Pisces axis and whatever it rules in our lives as well. Yeah, so that's kind of the summary. Now please go in and jump into your own sign. I wish you the best of luck during this month. And let's start now with the 12 zodiac signs. Hello, dear Aries suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This is part of the Why March 2025 is going to be a life-changing month for all of us series. So if you haven't seen part 1, please do so. This is part 2 of the analysis of March 2025. So this eclipse for you, Aries, is happening in your 6th house, which deals with daily routines, with work, and also with your health, with your physical body. The eclipse here can talk about some significant shifts that could be happening in these areas. And what is very important about this eclipse is that it is in opposition to Saturn and also in a trine to Uranus. So there can be a sense of responsibility, a sense of heaviness due to the presence of Saturn, where you are maybe juggling between the job that you want, the job that you need, and also the responsibilities that you have associated with it. Maybe you have to pay bills, you have to do your tasks, you have to also have money to live in general. That's what the 6th house is. But at the same time, there could be shifts and there could be changes at work that change the dynamics of your daily responsibilities, of your work responsibilities as well. However, this trine to Uranus is a very positive aspect because it can really bring opportunities for innovative breakthroughs. So even though there is a sense of responsibility and being serious and taking life seriously, at the same time, there is a lot of creativity that could come to place here to be able to resolve any sort of conflict that could be coming up with the eclipse. A lot of you may be reflecting over your daily habits, work-life balance, and also your health, the way how you take care of your body. Some of you could be removing any addictions, could be removing laziness, quote unquote. Like for example, if you you haven't been working out for a while, then you might feel more prompted to do so. You might leave behind certain addictions, certain things that are not serving for you in your physical body. Others of you might put a lot of focus on your mental health. You might start certain routines so that you feel more happy and you feel more excited about life. You feel more connected to life in general because the North Node and the Sun, they're on the 12th house. Others of you, Aries, you might have some opportunity to take on more responsibilities at work, and some of you might really be changing your job completely. It might not happen exactly in March, it might not happen exactly on the day of the eclipse, but this eclipse opens a wide window of 6 months that you might have all these shifts and changes in your 6th house matters. Okay, this is what I have for you, Aries, for this eclipse. I wish you the best of luck. Please stay tuned for the other video for the month of March, as there's still a lot of things happening. We have another eclipse. We have 2 planets going retrograde in the sign of Pisces and Neptune also entering the sign of Aries. So big things are happening this month. So stay tuned for the other videos. I wish you the best of luck and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Taurus suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to the eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This is part of the why March is going to be a life-changing month set of videos. So please, if you haven't yet, check part 1 of why March is going to be a life-changing month that I have already published. Okay, so for you, this eclipse, dear Taurians, is happening in your 5th house, and it's going to put a lot of emphasis in your creativity, in your romantic life, in your personal joy, and also the relationship that you have with children. If you are in the age of bearing children, some of you Taurians might get pregnant, or you might get your spouse pregnant. And not maybe exactly on the day of the eclipse, but up to 6 months. Some of you might have a child at some point that is going to be, or better said, that you might have some sort of soul contract with, because the nodes are being activated here. Now for others of you, if you're not into that, or if that's something that might not be happening, then then you might be changing the way how you view your romantic life. Some of you are going to deal with a romantic interest that you have some sort of soul contract with. You might meet somebody that you feel like you know them for a very long time. You might meet with someone that is completely out of fate, out of coincidence, how things happen between you two. For others of you, you may really change the way how you view your own creative skills and hobbies and artistic abilities that you have. Some of you Taurians might bring back some sort of hobby that you used to have in the past, either from this lifetime or from past lifetimes. You might decide to develop it. You might decide to put a lot of emphasis on it, whereas others of you Taurians might decide to leave behind certain hobby or creative skill because now you want to focus more on your long-term dreams and goals for the future. What is very important about this eclipse is that it's in opposition to Saturn. So Saturn here is adding a lot of responsibility, and it's adding some weight to this eclipse. So even though you might want to enjoy life and to feel excited about it, to be happy and out and about, because that's what the fifth house is. Saturn in the 11th house is asking you to be more responsible about where you want to be in the future, to be more responsible and structured and matured and disciplined in your daily life so that you can be aligned with where you want to be in 5 months, 6 months, 1 year. Some of you might put a lot of emphasis in financial health as well. With the eclipse here, some of you might have some sort of windfall, financial windfall, especially because the eclipse is also making a trine to Uranus, the planet of sudden events and the planet that rules your 10th house as well, of your status. So some of you might have financial windfall, whereas others of you might leave behind some sort of risky investment with the opposition to Saturn as well. Saturn could be shrinking the financial rewards that you could be making. So it could go both ways. That's how eclipses are. They are unpredictable in nature, but they bring sudden events, and we know the themes already for you, that they're going to be in the fifth house. This is what I have for you, Taurians. I feel like I covered the most important parts for this eclipse. Please stay tuned for the next video for the month of March. Because we still have so much going on. We're gonna have we're gonna have Venus and Mercury moving into Pisces, and also going retrograde, and also another eclipse, and we also have Neptune moving in the sign of Aries. So it's gonna be jam-packed this month, but please stay tuned for the next video as well. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one. Hello, dear Gemini suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This is part of the why March 2025 is going to be life-changing set of videos. So please make sure to check part 1. I've already published that one. So for this eclipse, this is happening in your 4th house, and it is the house that governs the home, the family, emotional foundations, family traditions, real estate. And for you, Geminis, it probably is going to bring some life-changing events, meaning that some of you might be relocating, moving into a place that you used to live at before, maybe to a city that you used to live in. Some of you might move back to a neighborhood or a building that you used to live in before. So you might be making some big changes here. And although the changes might not be happening exactly on the day of the eclipse, this eclipse still marks the beginning of a process that could be reflecting in the next 6 months. So please keep that in mind. For others of you, though, if you're not interested into moving, then you might have some changes in your home environment. The eclipse is happening in opposition to Saturn, so there might be some sort of responsibilities that may have some of you Geminis maybe bring somebody into your home environment, have somebody move in with you, or they might be moving out. Because you have certain responsibilities that you have to make, that you can't be living together, or you can't live in the same place together. Responsibilities could be tied a lot with work, with career, because Saturn is in the 10th house for you. And then for others of you Geminis, this eclipse could bring shifts and changes into your emotional world. Some of you might be looking at life and everything in general through the lens of an old perspective, meaning that if you viewed things in a certain way before, you might go back to looking at things in the same way. Like, for example, if you used to be a morning person and now things have changed for you, you sleep in the morning, then this eclipse could be changing that emotional approach that you have related to this, to where you go back to being a morning person. That's like a very simple example, but I want to say that the emotional world could be changing for you Geminis, but to where all the emotions are coming back, because this eclipse is with the south node. For others of you, it is important to mention that there's a trine to Uranus, and Uranus is in your 12th house. So even though there's all these responsibilities and changes that could be happening in your home environment, and for some of you also in your career, there's also a lot of opportunity for innovative breakthroughs and also ideas. So you might be implementing new methods or new approaches in your home environment. So let's say somebody moves in with you, then even though you feel this sense of responsibility of taking care of this person, you're still going to implement creative ways to make your home environment a bit more exciting. And then let's say if you're relocating again to a new place, then again you might be exploring areas where you could go and have fun, or how to make this new experience a bit lighter, a bit more exciting with a trine to Uranus. Because this eclipse is squaring you, Geminis, you might feel these changes also in your own character, in your own personality, but also in your relationships with other people, in your long-term relationship and marriage relationship. So you could decide to relocate, but you have some conversations to make with your significant other. You have some conversation to make maybe with your boss. And if you're not, relocating, then these changes that you may have in your home environment somehow make you have conversation and some sort of confrontation with your marriage partner, your business partner, or your authority figures in your life. For others of you Geminis, you could also have some sort of status change, meaning that some of you could get married and take your home dynamics a bit more seriously. You become more responsible. Others of you could be expanding in your home environment or shrinking in your home environment, meaning that maybe a child is moving in with you, so your responsibilities are added, or they might be moving out because they go to college, because they get married. Serious things could be happening in their lives, and that's somehow changes your life as well. Others of you might have a significant other maybe changing their career or changing their industry, and because of that, you experience some shifts and changes in your home environment as well. Okay, Geminis, this is what I have for you for this eclipse. You're probably one of the most impacted signs, but I wish you the best of luck with it. I hope you receive some wonderful blessings. I do want to remind you that I'm still making videos for the month of March, so stay tuned for those as well. We still have so much happening. We're going to have Venus and Mercury moving retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And also, we're going to have another eclipse this month, and Neptune is entering Aries for the first time in our lifetime. So excited. But stay tuned for those as well. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Cancer suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This is a part of why March is going to be a life-changing month for all of us set of videos. So please make sure to also check out my first video about the month of March. It's very informative. Okay, so this eclipse for you is happening in your 3rd house, which is the house that rules communication, learning, local travel, thinking processes. So a lot of you Cancers might have some shifts, some important shifts and changes when it comes to the way how you process information, the way how you communicate and interact with your immediate environment, and also in the way how you exchange information and engage in daily responsibilities, and also daily exchanges with people, with your relatives, with your siblings, with people you work with, anybody that is in your immediate environment. A lot of you might have the opportunity to go back maybe to studying a certain topic and to pick up on a certain skill that you used to be interested in before. You might decide to go back to it, to study, to learn, so that you can increase your skill set and you can learn some new things. If some of you Cancers are in the writing industry, in publishing, in marketing, in sales, then this eclipse could indicate some sort of breakthrough related to it, to where you might have some sort of a spotlight, or the other way around, to where you decide to leave this industry and focus more on higher education, focus more on doing big publishings instead of, writing something small or just dealing with social media. Others of you might go back to a place that you used to travel to. I mean, like local travels, like if you used to go to a certain city that is 1 hour away from you, you might decide to travel back to that place. And you might be doing so more than once. So you might be very active when it comes to local travels. Others of you Cancers, though, might be more prompted to travel internationally, because this eclipse is with a south node, so you might want to leave behind the local travel and go more internationally with a north node in the ninth house. Now, I do want to say that there's an opposition to Saturn, so this eclipse is not like a simple normal eclipse. We're going to feel the presence of Saturn, and Saturn here is the responsibilities. So you may be wanting to travel, to do all these exciting things, to learn and things like that, but maybe there could be some legal issues that are weighting you down. Maybe issues associated with citizenship, permanent residency. For others of you, it could be legal matters. Maybe you have something to deal with courts that you have to take care of before you can go do these travels or do all these studies, or have, more social media exposure and things like that. However, I do want to say that there is a trine to Uranus here, which is in the sign of Taurus, and Uranus for you is in your 11th house. And so even though you have all these responsibilities that you might have to deal with during this eclipse, there is still a sense of excitement here, a sense of innovative breakthroughs that you might be bringing to your communication style and learning processes. For some of you, there could be a friend that could be helping you out with any changes that could be happening in your third house matters. For others of you, you might be keeping in your mind your long-term dreams and goals for the future. Yes, there's responsibilities currently happening, but you are keeping your eyes on what is to come when it comes to your future, where it comes to where you want to be in the long run. And some of you might also receive or give some sort of communication related to financial matters, related to financial health. Some of you might have some sort of communication that makes you financially more independent with Uranus in the 11th house. And then others of you might just decide to change your thinking process or go back to some sort of habit you used to have in the past related to your own mental health, related to your thinking process, related to how you talk to yourself and your mind in general, because a third house is the house that rules your mind. And so with the south node being here, you might go back to certain habits you used to have in the past that you feel comfortable with when it comes to your thinking process. Okay, this is what I have for you, Cancers. I wish you the best of luck with this eclipse. Please keep in mind that I'm still going to post videos for the month of March. We still have so much going on. We're going to have Venus and Mercury moving retrograde in the sign of Pisces. We're going to have another eclipse and also Neptune entering the sign of Aries. So much happening. Stay tuned for the other videos as well. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one. Hello, dear Leo suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your eclipse in the sign of Virgo. Astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This video is a part of the Why March 2025 is going to be a life-changing month for all of us series. So please make sure to check my other video that I've already posted. for the month of March. So this eclipse, Leos, for you is happening in your second house, and it is putting a lot of emphasis in your personal finances, in your possessions, and also your self-worth. So some of you might run into events or situations that prompt you to reassess your financial stability, to take a look at your personal resources and your personal finances, and also to be more mature and to develop a deeper understanding in the relationship that you have with your own finances, with your own money making abilities, with your financial wealth, with budgeting, the way how you make your money and the way how you spend your money. Because this eclipse is happening with a South Node, some of you Leos might go back to an old opportunity that you've had to make money. Others of you might leave behind a certain job or a certain financial resource that is not bringing money to you anymore, and you may be focusing more on making money through other people's money. Others of you Virgos, you might have some sort of breakthrough in your finances that is karmic in nature, meaning that maybe you worked for this financial reward in past lifetimes and now it's coming back to you in this lifetime. Because this eclipse is happening in an opposition to Saturn, which is in your 8th house, there is still some sort of responsibility here for you. So even though you may want to take on maybe a new money-making ability, or you want to leave behind a job or a money-making resource or skill that you have, there is still a sense of responsibility, meaning that you still have to pay bills, you still have to live, you still have to buy things to live, to survive. Not to survive, but to live. And so there's a sense of responsibility here that is asking a lot of you Leos to be careful with your finances, to be careful with your shared resources, to be careful with your investments as well. I would be a little cautious with shared resources and finances because Saturn there could be restricting some things. And you might need to go back to making more money because there's some sort of restriction in shared resources and shared finances. For others of you Leos, like I mentioned, the second house is the house of your self-worth. So you might go back to routines, you might go back to thinking processes and to buying things that increase your own self-worth and self-confidence. Like, for example, if in the past you used to wear a certain, clothing, or used to have a certain style, then you might be going back to it because you feel more comfortable and more, you might have a stronger sense of self because of it. And I'm saying, you might go back to it because these are skills and these are things that you used to have in the past because of the eclipse being with the South Node. Now, even though there is a sense of responsibility, like I mentioned, with the presence of Saturn, we also are going to have a trine to Uranus, which is in the sign of Taurus for you in your 10th house. So even though you might be dealing with these financial situations, you are still probably going to implement a lot of innovative ideas and innovative skills that you have so that you can have some sort of breakthrough in your career sector and also in your status. Some of you Leos, I feel like a very small group of you maybe might be separating with someone, and therefore you might have this sort of independence in your public status, and that brings also shifts and changes in your financial sector. Whereas others of you might have some breakthrough in your career. You might be elevated in your status. You might take on more responsibilities. You might also have a different title in your job, in your career, and therefore that shifts your financial sector and your financial situation as well. But together with that, it probably brings shifts and changes in your own self-worth and your own self-confidence as well. Okay, Leos, this is what I have for you for this eclipse. Please stay tuned for the other videos. We have so much going on in this month. We're gonna have Venus and Mercury moving into the sign of Pisces in retrograde motion. We're gonna have also another eclipse and Neptune moving in the sign of Aries. So much happening. Please stay tuned for the other videos as well. If you want to show some support for my work, you can like, subscribe, share this video with people that you think are going to benefit from it. I wish you the best of luck and I'll see you on the next one. Hello, dear Virgo suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your eclipse in Virgo in your sign for March 2025. This eclipse is happening on March 14 exactly at 23 degrees. So it's going to be very important for you. This video is a part of the Why March is going to be a life-changing month for all of us series, so please make sure to check my first video. I've already published it. So now for you Virgos, this eclipse is going to highlight a lot of themes related to your own self-identity, to personal initiatives, to new beginnings for yourselves, because the first house is the house of new beginnings, is the house of the things that we start. And also you're going to have highlights in your relationships, in your marriage relationship, and business partnerships as well. So for some of you Virgos, with the eclipse happening here in the south node, you might go back to an old sense of identity that you've had in the past. Like for example, if you identified yourself with a certain hobby or with a certain creative skill or status, that you might have some sort of situation or event happening that is bringing you back to that sort of self-identity. For others of you, you might have some sort of initiation and beginning in your life that is tied to an event that could have happened in the past with the presence of the south node here. However, with the opposition to the seventh house, there is some sort of clash with your daily responsibilities and the responsibilities that you have in your life in general. But for some of you Virgos, there could be some sort of need to be mature, especially in your one-on-one relationships with other people. The opposition to Saturn here is going to make a lot of you very mature in the way how you deal with your business partnerships and also with your marriage partner. For some of you, there could be a partner that has some sort of restricting situation in their life that is making them projected into you as well. So you might feel something that is going on in their life that also reflects onto you, and it could be tied to responsibilities. It could be tied to feeling like you have to build some sort of structure around your maybe marriage, around your relationship, and also around the way how you go about your daily life with your significant other. If you don't have a significant other, then there can be some sort of a binding contract that could be in place that is having some of you Virgos restart something or go back to a certain lifestyle that you used to have before, or go back to some sort of quality that is about your character, that is about your personality, that you somehow moved away from, but now it's coming back to you due to some sort of contract that is in place or some sort of agreement. Like for example, if you have a rental contract in a certain building or a certain apartment or a certain area, or you have a mortgage and you have to live in one house, then you might want to have some sort of beginning associated with it, meaning that maybe you're more responsible in paying those bills or paying your duties. And you might also become responsible in dealing with your neighbors, or you become more responsible in budgeting your own income so that you can start afresh because of this agreement that you have in place that is quote unquote binding you or teaching you how to become more mature in general. The seventh house is also the house of dealing with other people on one-on-one relationships. So some of you, again, Virgos, might be more mature into your communication style with other people, in the way how you approach to them and how you relate to them. Some of you might feel a little colder or a little detached from your significant other or from a business partner as well, or you might simply be very level-headed, very mature and wise in your relationships with them. I do want to mention that even though we have this opposition to Saturn, there's also going to be a trine to Uranus, which for you is transiting the ninth house. And Uranus is giving here a lot of exciting ideas to deal with this new beginning or this new changes or even completions, because this is still, you know, a full moon eclipse, but that brings changes whether we like it or not. So there's still some exciting ideas that could be coming because of your own knowledge, because of your own experience, because of people that could be advising you as well. Virgos, they could be telling you to or giving you advice to take a certain direction in life. Some of you might have some sort of new beginning because of a travel that you may be doing or some exciting traveling opportunity that you might have in the future. Whereas others of you Virgos might have some sort of legal matter happening, but that is somehow in harmony to these changes that could be happening in your life related to your own self-identity and also the long-term relationships that you have with other people. Uranus in the ninth house is also giving you very smart ideas to increase your own knowledge so that you can make the right decisions in this area of responsibility between your first house and your seventh house as well. Okay, Virgo, so far you're the sign that has been the longest, but you deserve it because the eclipse is happening on your sign. You're going to have some sort of completion in your own sense of identity. Maybe you're going to detach, I think, from old ways of identifying yourselves. Like, for example, if you thought you were introverted before, then you might leave behind that sort of self-identifying and become more mature in your relationships with other people because of the presence of Saturn in the seventh house. Or if you identified yourself as maybe not a good communicator, then something could be happening to where you detach yourself from that sort of identity and embrace a more mature sense of self. Uranus is really helping a lot of you Virgos here. The connection to Saturn is very subtle with the trine. So make sure to take action, meaning that make sure to read, to get information, to use your personal knowledge so that you can make this experience of this eclipse be more on the beneficial side for you. Okay, this is what I have for you. Please stay tuned for the other videos. I'm going to be making other videos as well for this month because it's going to have so much happening. We have Venus and Mercury going retrograde into the sign of Pisces. We're going to have another eclipse and also Neptune moving in the sign of Aries all in this month. So it's going to be very exciting. I mean, we're 1 week in, but anyway, stay tuned for those as well, please. I wish you the best of luck, Virgos, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Libra suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This video is part of the why March is going to be a life-changing month set of videos, so please make sure to check part 1 as I've already published it. And there's going to be more videos about this month. But for this one, we're going to have a full moon eclipse in your 12th house on March 14 at 23 degrees. And it's going to highlight issues or situations related to your subconscious mind, to hidden emotions, to hidden enemies, spiritual matters, travels to foreign lands, and also your own mental health. So for a lot of you Libras, with this full moon eclipse, you might go back to some kind of spiritual practices that you used to do before. With the South Node being here, you might go back to doing some sort of meditation, yoga practices, anything that used to work for you in the past, you might really go back to it. For others of you, this full moon can talk about some sort of closure when it comes to soul contract that you have with a hidden enemy. The eclipse here could put a lot of spotlight into somebody that may have been doing things behind your back, and there could also be closure with them, with this being a full moon first of all, and also being here with a south node. For some of you Libras, you may have some opportunity to travel to foreign lands, maybe to go back to places that you have been to before. Whereas others of you, you might feel burdened by daily responsibilities. And although you have the strong desire to travel and go and retreat, maybe go on a vacation, rest, stay at home, at the same time, you might have these daily responsibilities that don't leave you alone. And that is because this eclipse is in opposition to Saturn, which is sitting in your 6th house of your day-to-day work, of your day-to-day job, your daily routines. And so that's why some of you Libras might have to work on balancing out your daily responsibilities and structures and discipline that you need on a daily basis with the need to retreat and rest as well. Some of you might also change jobs, Libras, with this eclipse here, because you might feel a little what's it called? What's the word? You might feel limited. That's the right word. You might feel limited on your ability to express yourself at work. Some of you may have a boss or co-workers that are keeping an eye on you, that are bringing some sort of limitation on your own self-expression. And because of that, some of you may decide to leave your job, to change your job, to retreat maybe. Whereas others of you, you may take on even more responsibilities and may become even more down to earth when it comes to what you do at work, what you do at your job, and how you collaborate with your co-workers as well. For others of you, you might need to put a lot of emphasis on your own mental health. Some of you Libras might go back to old practices that were working for you when it comes to dealing with your own self-sabotaging patterns, self-undoing. This eclipse is in opposition to Saturn, but it's also on a beautiful trine to Uranus, which for you is sitting in your 8th house. And Uranus here is giving you ideas, innovative ideas for a lot of self-expression and self-understanding as well. For some of you, you might use shared resources and finances to be able to have this sort of shift on your work responsibilities. Let's say if some of you want to leave your job, then somebody could be supporting you financially to be able to do so. Whereas others of you might have these innovative ideas, sudden ideas to make money through investments, to make money through other people's money, maybe to get clients, customers. And so you might be able to do that shift between your 12th and 6th houses through the support of Uranus in the 8th house. As we know, eclipses are very unpredictable in nature. So for some of you, it might add something to your life, and others of you, it may remove something. And because it's happening in your 12th house and 6th house axis, just be careful with your own physical health. Take care of your body, take care of your own mental health. Make sure to rest your nervous system as well. Okay, Libras, this is what I have for you for this eclipse. Please make sure to check out the other videos that I will be posting. We have so much going on in this month, and we're not going to feel the effects only in this month, but for a long time, because we're going to have Venus and Mercury both entering in retrograde motion into the sign of Pisces. We're also going to have another eclipse in the sign of Aries, and also Neptune entering Aries as well. And all of this is happening in March. So please stay tuned for the other videos. But other than that, I wish you the best of luck, Libras, and I'll see you on the next one. Hello, dear Scorpio suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This video is part of the why March is going to be a life-changing month set of videos. So please make sure to check the first video I've already posted about the month of March. But this eclipse is going to be a full moon eclipse in the sign of Virgo on March 14 Eastern Standard Time. at 23 degrees in your 11th house, Scorpios, and it's going to put a lot of emphasis on your friendships, social networks, long-term aspirations and dreams, your financial rewards, your financial wealth, and also your own social media. For a lot of you, Scorpios, this eclipse can indicate entering some period of time where you are cleansing your groups of friendships. Some of you may be really understanding that there may be certain friends or groups of people or groups of friends that might be holding you back, especially when it comes to your own self-expression and also your own money-making abilities, your own expression of talents and hobbies and artistic abilities that you have as well. So this full moon can talk about karmic closure, maybe detaching from friends, maybe they move away from you or move out of the city that you're living in. Maybe they go somewhere else, or you do the same. Maybe you move somewhere else, and therefore there's some sort of closure here. For others of you, Scorpios, this eclipse can indicate entering a group of friends or a new circle of friends that you have some sort of karmic tie with or soul contract with, and they will help you achieve your long-term dreams and goals in the long run. And although you may not enter this social group exactly on the day of the eclipse, you will slowly, have a shift in your groups of friends eventually. And that could be happening up to 6 months as well, because that's how we feel the effects of a full moon eclipse. Now, for others of you, you may be going back to certain long-term dreams and goals for the future that you used to have before. Maybe you gave up on them and now you are reassessing them and going back to some old dreams that you had, some old achievements that you wanted to have with this eclipse here, because it's with the South Node. And so it is making you go back into something that you used to like, you used to love when it comes to your long-term aspirations. And if it's not something that you liked in this lifetime, it's something that you've been wanting to complete. Your soul has been wanting to complete through different lifetimes. And now there are certain situations that is bringing that back to you. For others of you with this eclipse, you might have some sort of spotlight on the social media if you're active in there. And then for others of you, you might just decide to close down your social media and kind of focus more on your day-to-day life, on enjoying life on a daily basis. Now, this eclipse is in opposition to Saturn, and you're going to feel some sort of responsibility, some sort of karma, some sort of heaviness, despite what situations could be coming your way. But the good thing about it is that this eclipse is also receiving a trine from Uranus, which is sitting in your 7th house. So even though your groups of friends or social circles are shifting, are changing, you might have the support of somebody in your life, like a partner in your life. Whereas others of you might connect with individuals that are more innovative in nature. They are smarter, more intelligent, they are different, they think differently. And they could be individuals that are unpredictable in nature as well, that make you feel more excited too. For others of you, there could be some sort of shift or change in the life of your partner, your romantic partner or business partner, that eventually makes you leave a certain group of friends and focus more maybe on your children or focus more on your romantic life. A lot of you might be taking life a bit more seriously with Saturn in the 5th house. And I'm a Taurus rising, so I have Saturn in the 11th house, and I kind of feel the energy that you're feeling as well. It's just that it's in opposite axis, but I still feel it. And Saturn there in the 5th house could make you not enjoy life as much, so be careful and be aware of that. But I think with Uranus in the 7th house, you're still going to have the excitement. I feel like Uranus is making things a little lighter for all of us. But with you in the 7th house, like, you could be doing more fun things with a partner, with a romantic partner, with a business partner, instead of your circle of friends, instead of your long-term friends as well. And then something else is that the 11th house is also the house of financial reward. So some of you could be receiving some sudden financial reward, whereas others of you maybe are leaving behind your, or better said, maybe you're not focusing as much on your financial rewards as you're focusing on enjoying life, on loving life, on appreciating and being grateful for whatever you have or whoever you are as well. If you have children, there could be something happening in their lives as well that makes you shift your focus towards your children, but also towards your own financial means and seeing if you're able to support them or not in whatever could be happening in their lives as well. Okay, Scorpios, this is what I have for you. Please stay tuned for the other videos that I will be making for the month of March. We're going to have Venus and Mercury both entering the sign of Pisces in retrograde motion. We're going to have another eclipse in the sign of Aries, and also Neptune entering Aries for the first time in this lifetime. So please make sure to check those out and stay tuned. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Sagittarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This is a video that is part of the why March is such a life-changing month for all of us set of videos. So please make sure to check out the first one that I've already analyzed, the first part of the month of March. So this eclipse now is happening on March 14 Eastern Standard Time on 23 degrees, at 23 degrees in your 10th house, Sagittarians. So you're definitely one of the most impacted signs, and this eclipse is putting a lot of emphasis in your career, in your public image, and also your long-term dreams and goals that you have related to your career, related to your status, and where you still what contribution you want to give out in the world. So for a lot of you, you may decide to change the industry that you're in, Sagittarians. You may decide to change your job, to change your career. For others of you, there could be maybe a boss leaving your job, an authority figure leaving your work, your job, your industry, and therefore there's some changes there now. Whereas for others of you, you might even relocate with this eclipse. And like I always say in the other videos for full moon eclipses, these changes could not be happening maybe exactly on the day of March 14, but the eclipse is marking something in the sky that is going to have situations and opportunities unfold for you slowly up to 6 months. The effects of a full moon eclipse could be felt up to 6 months. And so, like I said, some of you could really be relocating. It could be because of your home situation, because of your parents. Some of you could have so many responsibilities at home. So now you have to relocate and go somewhere else. Others of you could be relocating because of your work, because of your job. This full moon eclipse could also put a lot of spotlight and highlight the need to have a life-work balance, because there's an opposition to Saturn with this eclipse. Saturn is sitting in your 4th house, and you may feel burdened. You may have so many responsibilities and things to do and people to take care of, and your home environment to take care of, children, parents, maybe siblings. So you have so many responsibilities in your home environment, but you also are being called in your job, in your work, and therefore this eclipse could highlight that need to be balanced and need to be disciplined, to be smart, structured, the way how Saturn would want us to be. For some of you, you might also have some sort of shift and change when it comes to your public status. Some of you could be moving in, could be moving out with someone. With Saturn in the 4th house, there could be some karmic situations unfolding in your home environment that could be tied maybe to a partner, maybe to family members. And so your status, your public status, could be changing, meaning that some of you could go from single to married, from married to single. Others of you could maybe move in with your parents or move out of your parents' house, and so you're recognized maybe as more independent or not. So your status and the way how you're known into the world is also shifting and changing with this full moon eclipse. But there could be some sort of closure here anyway. For others of you, I feel like you might go back to an old industry that you used to be in before when it comes to your career, your public status, and your contribution that you want to leave in the world, or even your long-term goals as well. Because the 10th house is where what we work on consistently in this lifetime so that we can leave some sort of legacy for the others to come, or for the people that know you. So you might have some sort of shift there. Maybe you're going back to things that used to work for you before, maybe to old opportunities. Let's say some of you maybe had a job offer some time ago and you might decide to go back to it, because again, there is some dynamics at home that are bringing to you some sort of responsibilities. Now, what I love about this eclipse is that it's receiving a trine from Uranus, which for you is sitting in your 6th house. And 6th house is the house of your day-to-day job or of your work responsibilities. That's why I say a lot of you Sagittarians might be putting a lot of emphasis on your work, maybe changing jobs, changing responsibilities at work, maybe authority figures are leaving, maybe colleagues also. But with Uranus here, you do have that ability to think of innovative ideas, to have innovative ideas and solutions when it comes to your own situation. Some of you might have to do more things on your daily basis, or might have some sort of change in your daily routines that is still supporting this big change that you may be having in your 10th house and 4th house matters. Like I mentioned earlier, you're probably one of the most impacted signs, because this eclipse is also squaring you, your identity, your personality. So expect changes and shifts on that too. Meaning that if you identified yourself in a certain way before, maybe you identified yourself as a finance person, as an accountant, that could be shifting as well in the next 6 months. Maybe you're going back, like I said earlier, in an old industry, changing jobs, changing responsibilities also. And if you're not in the work or in the job market, there could be some changes in your own status, in how you're known in the world, also in your relationship status. Like I said, many of you Sagittarians will decide to leave a marriage, enter a marriage, leave a relationship or enter a relationship. There's changes that could be happening in your 7th house matters as well. I think Uranus in the 6th house is going to give you that energy that you need when it comes to your own mental health and also physical health to be able to make these necessary changes. So Uranus could be supporting you from the 6th house as well. Okay, this is what I have for you, Sagittarians. Please let me know in the comments below how things are going for you in your lives. Stay tuned for the other videos that I will be posting for the month of March. We still have so much going on. We're gonna have Venus and Mercury both going retrograde into the sign of Pisces. We're going to have another eclipse this month. We're going to have Neptune entering the sign of Aries. So much going on. So please stay tuned for what's to come. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Capricorn suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This video is part of the Why March is going to be a life-changing month for all of us series. So please make sure to check my first video where I've talked about Venus and Mercury going retrograde both in the sign of Aries. So for this video though, this eclipse is happening on March 14 Eastern Standard Time at 23 degrees in your 9th house. Which for you Capricorns could be a little nicer compared to the other signs, just because it is in a positive aspect to your 1st house. It is happening in a fellow earth sign, but for you it is bringing opportunities to maybe travel abroad. I feel like a lot of you are going to decide to go back to a place, to a country, to a city that you have been to before. Whereas others of you might want to go back to studying something that you have been wanting to study for a while. Let's say if you dropped out of school at some point from university, if you dropped out of receiving a degree, getting a degree, then you might decide to go back to it so that you can finish it and complete it with this eclipse. Now, as I always say for my eclipse videos, the changes might not happen exactly on March 14. the changes that the eclipse bring, they could be happening up to 6 months after it. But the eclipse marks something in the sky of an important change that is happening in your ninth house matters. The ninth house is also the house that deals with legal matters. So some of you might put a lot of emphasis and focus to close some sort of legal matter that you have been working on for a while, whereas others of you, you might have some kind of soul contract related to a legal matter that you need to complete in this lifetime. And so this eclipse is putting an emphasis on that. You might have to deal with something related to legal issues. If you live abroad, then you might have some sort of completion, some sort of closure related to your citizenship, related to your residency card. Some of you might be finally receiving those things. Others of you might have to submit documentation and go back to revising these topics, just because this is still a South Node eclipse. Now, I do want to mention that there is an opposition to Saturn, which is sitting in your third house. And a lot of you are probably thinking about being a bit more disciplined when it comes to your own thinking process, when it comes to your own communication style, the way how you relate to other people. Some of you might be called to be more responsible, more serious and mature when it comes to your own daily responsibilities and daily routines, and the communication that you have with your immediate environment. Maybe you're with your siblings, family members, friends, acquaintances, just people that surround you in general. For others of you, you might have some sort of balance to do between traveling abroad or traveling locally. You may want to go to a faraway place, but your responsibilities at home or in your immediate environment are kind of bringing you more down to earth and keeping you, only locally, not being able to travel abroad. Or it could be the other way around, to where the responsibilities that you have on your day-to-day life maybe are bringing you some sort of opportunity to go far away and travel abroad as well. If you are in the writing industry, publishing, then you might really spend a lot of hours, a lot of time into writing, into putting whatever you're creating together. And for some of you, you might even earn some sort of recognition with this eclipse in the ninth house, some sort of recognition, especially in the realm of the people with the higher knowledge, with people that have some sort of expertise in your field. This full moon eclipse here could put a lot of emphasis on that and put you in the spotlight, because the ninth house, even though it's not the 10th house, is still visible in your chart. So it could give you some sort of visibility also, especially, like I said, if you're in the writing industry, publishing, travel, agencies, selling, car sales also, mobile industry, anything like that. You might have some sort of spotlight as well. Now, Uranus is also creating a positive aspect to this eclipse from your 5th house. So a lot of you might use the amazing creativity that you have to bring something into existence. Uranus is giving you innovative ideas, thinking outside of the box, exciting ideas also that you can put or you can use to bring into existence something in your 9th house and 3rd house matters. And like I said, Saturn is bringing you the discipline. It also makes you feel very, heavy, because that's how Saturn nature is. But Uranus is definitely helping you with the innovative ideas, your creative skills, your creative abilities. Some of you might also have the help of maybe of a romantic interest or romantic partner to give you certain ideas or to teach you something so that you can have some sort of completion in your 9th house, 3rd house matters. For some of you, the help could be coming maybe from one of your children. They might be there for you, or something could be happening in the life of one of your children that is sudden, but it somehow affects you in a positive way when it comes to your 9th house and 3rd house matters. Okay, Capricorns, this is what I have for you for this eclipse. I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you. Stay tuned also for the other videos that I will be making for the month of March. We're going to have Venus and Mercury both moving into the sign of Pisces in a retrograde motion. We're also going to have another eclipse in the sign of Aries, and also Neptune is entering Aries in this month, although this is happening in March. So please stay tuned for those as well. I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you on the next video. Hello, dear Aquarius, Aquarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This video is part of the Why March is Going to Be a Life-Changing Month series of videos. So please make sure to check the first video I've already posted that talks about the first half of the month of March. And for this one, though, I'm going to be focusing on the eclipse in the sign of Virgo, which of course, is very important, just like any other eclipses. This particular eclipse is happening on March 14 Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening at 23 degrees, falling in your 8th house, which is the house that rules your shared resources, your intimacy, and your transformational abilities. I think a lot of you Virgos might go back to some old investment ways, some old money-making ways that you used to have in this lifetime or you used to have in past lifetimes. The full moon here could bring a spotlight, the full moon eclipse could bring a spotlight into your abilities to make money through other people's money in a way that you might either detach from that, leave that behind, or you might go back to an old way of making money through other people's money, of course. For others of you, this full moon eclipse can talk about an ending when it comes to your shared resources that you have with somebody else. Whereas for others of you, it may indicate some sort of ending of an issue that you've had with shared resources and finances with someone else. Like, let's say maybe your spouse didn't put in as much money as you did, and so there's some sort of closure there, some sort of spotlight being put there to where this needs to change, or this issue is going to have some sort of change and transformation as well. The 8th house is also the house of intimacy, like I mentioned. So some of you could leave behind being intimate with someone. You know, if you've had somebody that you have been having an intimate relationship with, then you might be detaching from them and kind of leaving them behind as well. For others of you, it could be the opposite way, to where you meet somebody that you really like physically. That it could be somebody that you have some sort of soul contract with, and therefore you enter that soul contract with them in this lifetime, and you decide to become more intimate with them. The 8th house, like I mentioned, is also the house of your own transformation. So a lot of you Aquarians are going to have some sort of transformation, especially at the psychological level, at the mental level with this eclipse. Pluto is doing its job in the first house for you. And so I feel like this eclipse is still tied to that. As well, it is teaching you to become very adaptable, which might not be as easy for a fixed sign like you. But the eclipse here is teaching you or giving you the opportunities to transform yourselves at the fundamental level, at the core level, at the mental level. Some of you might be leaving behind maybe old traumas, old self-sabotaging patterns, old self-undoing. You might be detaching from that, leaving that behind, having a forever closure associated with it, because this is the South Node after all. Now, I do want to say that on the other hand, Saturn is transiting your 2nd house, and it's going to be in an opposition to this eclipse. So it could be that you are leaving behind these self-sabotaging ways and things that bog you down, things that bring you down, because you want to strengthen your own self-confidence. Saturn here in the 2nd house might be bringing challenges when it comes to your own self-confidence, but eventually with time is teaching you how to be mature about it. And I feel like this eclipse could bring opportunities, moments, situations, people that can help you strengthen your own self-confidence and being more mature associated with it by leaving behind things that don't serve you anymore. The 8th house is also the house of obsessions. So some of you might be leaving behind some sort of obsession that maybe you have with someone, especially if it's related to lust, if it's related to the lower vibration of things. Like I mentioned earlier, Saturn is transiting your second house. So I feel like a lot of you Aquarians are putting a lot of emphasis and focus when it comes to your own finances. And like I said, you might be leaving behind shared resources that you have with somebody else, because you want to focus more on your own money making abilities. Whereas for others of you, I have to say, with Saturn in the second house, maybe you're feeling like you're not making enough money, and therefore you have to make some sort of change related to your own financial wealth, or financial health. You might be exploring new things related to your own money, or become more disciplined about spending, about budgeting. You might be tracking more where your money is going. You might become wiser in every way when it comes to your resources, personal ones and shared resources as well. Now, what I like about this eclipse is that it's receiving a positive aspect from Uranus, which for you is sitting in your fourth house. And this can indicate that some of you might decide to leave, or relocate all of a sudden with Uranus here. You might decide to change places because you feel like maybe you cannot afford where you are right now. Or for others of you, there could be some sort of karmic contract that you need to fulfill in this lifetime, and therefore you need to move and go somewhere else. Maybe you need to meet someone somewhere else, or you need to make money a different way somewhere else, or at some point you might be able to meet somebody that can bring you more excitement, more innovation, more love, more forward thinking in your life. And so, nothing happens by coincidence. There's always a reason for everything. But with Uranus in the fourth house, some of you might even receive some sort of support, which is surprising to you, related to your finances. Maybe a parent is helping you financially. Maybe a family member, a sibling, a child could be helping you financially. That could be very surprising to you as well. Whereas for others of you, if you don't have anything happening when it comes to your resources and finances, then maybe you might have some sort of shift in your own emotional world that can make you feel very excited about life with Uranus in the area of your emotions. And therefore, you might leave behind some sort of self-sabotaging patterns and self-undoing, and then deciding to embrace more love for yourself, more self-confidence, maybe being more mature in the way how you take care of yourself, and of course the way how you take care of your own possessions as well. Okay, this is what I have for you, Aquarians. I wish you the best of luck for this eclipse. Please stay tuned for the other videos that I'm going to be doing for this month. We're going to have Venus and Mercury both moving retrograde in the sign of Pisces in this month. We're also going to have another eclipse and Neptune entering Aries as well. So a lot of stuff are happening. Please stay tuned for the other videos. But other than that, I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one. Hello, dear Pisces suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your eclipse in Virgo astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. This is part of the why March is such a life-changing month series of videos. So please make sure to check the first part that I've already published. I talk about the first part of March, where Venus and Mercury are both retrograde in the sign of Aries. For this video though, we're going to be focusing on the eclipse in the sign of Virgo, which is taking place on March 14, Eastern Standard Time at 23 degrees in your 7th house. And the 7th house is the house that rules your partnerships, your contracts, long-term relationships, business partnerships, collaborations also. So I feel like a lot of you Pisces are maybe leaving behind your marriage partner. Don't freak out, not all of you. Some of you maybe are leaving somebody behind that you have some sort of karmic closure with. You've completed your soul contract with them in this lifetime, and now you have to leave them behind and focus more on building yourself. Focus more on your own self-worth, your own self-identity, creating the certain boundaries that you need so that you are respected by other people, and that you can create some sort of detachment from others as well. For others of you, this eclipse in the 7th house can talk about something major that could be happening in the life of your long-term partner, maybe marriage partner or simply relationship partner that you've been together for a long time. There could be something major that is happening in their lives that can bring some sort of heaviness when it comes to the energy in the relationship, maybe some sort of responsibility also. And that is because Saturn is in opposition to this eclipse, and Saturn is transiting your 1st house. For others of you, you might be leaving behind some sort of a contract, some sort of agreement that might have been binding you for a long time. This agreement, this contract can be tied to anything really. It can be related maybe to your marriage contract. Like I said, for some of you, you might leave behind a romantic partner. A contract can be tied to maybe your rental contract, your mortgage. Some of you might be leaving that behind and eventually starting to build something new for yourselves, because the North Node is in the 1st house, and you're gonna have this stellium in the 1st house as well very soon, with Venus and Mercury moving into the sign of Pisces. You have Saturn there, Neptune, the North Node. So I feel like a lot of you Pisceans will be starting fresh in your lives, like starting fresh, because the 1st house is the house of new beginnings, and because you have this huge energy, all these planets in your 1st house, I feel like a lot of you are going to make massive changes that of course is not going to unfold overnight, but it can be unfolding in the next 6 months. And I'm saying 6 months because for lunar eclipses, the effects of the eclipse don't always feel or are not necessarily reflected on the day of the eclipse. They can last up to 6 months after it. But March 14 marks like the footprint in the sky where things are going to be starting to unfold. And so what I like about this eclipse though is that Uranus is making a positive aspect to it from the 3rd house, and it's giving you very prompt ideas, fast thinking, innovative ideas. It's making you very sharp into your mental thinking, and also in your communication style. So I feel like, you know, you have all these changes that could be happening in your relationship sector, in your collaborations, contract agreements as well. But you do have that mental capacity to make the right decisions, or to be smart and intelligent, and to be very forward thinking in all the decisions you're making. Like, let's say if you're leaving behind a certain contract, maybe you're moving somewhere else, because this is happening in an angular house, and of course you're one of the most impacted signs. This eclipse is squaring your 4th house, your 10th house as well. So some of you might be moving, let's say, and so you had a certain rental agreement in place, and now you have that mental capacity to close that or make the right decision to close it, and you're being more optimistic about your future in your thinking process, where Uranus in the 3rd house, about what is about to come for you. Maybe this is the right decision so that you can start afresh somewhere else, or so that you can create a more stable life for you as well, but with Saturn in the 1st house. Uranus in the 3rd house might also give you opportunities to travel locally as well, to be more in the car. And like I said, there could be something happening in your relationship sector, or with your own personality, with your own life, with your own identity, that is making you communicate with other people more, be on the road more. For some of you, you may be studying and reading a little bit more as well, and Uranus in the 3rd house is giving you that mental clarity that you need. Some of you Pisces, like I said, you may be relocating as well. There could be changes in your home environment, with your real estate, with your home. Maybe you're moving out from a place, maybe you're moving into a new place. And then for others of you, you might have shifts and changes in your career sector. Maybe an old authority figure is moving or leaving the place, or a new one is coming in, or you are giving some sort of responsibility and some sort of new title as well, and now you're entering some sort of collaboration, new contract as well. I talked so much about endings, but I feel like for some of you, you may also have new beginnings here in the 7th house, but that are of a karmic nature. There's something you didn't complete in past lifetimes, and you are bound to complete in this lifetime as well. It can feel heavy, like I said, with the opposition to Saturn in your 1st house, but is probably very necessary for you for this lifetime. And the nodes are going to be in your 1st and 7th house for a while. So this is just the beginning of many changes you're going to be having, dear Pisces. Okay, this is what I have for you for this video. Please stay tuned for the other videos I'm going to be making for the month of March. We're going to have Venus and Mercury both going retrograde into your sign, like I mentioned. We're also going to have an eclipse in the sign of Aries in your 2nd house, and also Neptune, your ruler, also moving into the sign of Aries, also in the month of March. So big things, big changes. Like I said, March is it marks the beginning of the changes of things in the sky. Although we may not feel the effects of all these things like on the day of when they happen, we're definitely gonna feel the effects like in the next month, 2 months, up to 6 months, like I mentioned. But still, please stay tuned for the next videos. Okay, let me know in the comments how things are going in your lives, and if you want to show some support, you can like, subscribe, share this video with people that you think are going to benefit from this. I wish you the best of luck, Pisces, and I'll see you on the next video.